Love comes to those who wait and who keep trying even though they have been hurt over and over again. I don't know why I began with this quote, but welcome to My Life Continues Every Day. This is episode 7 and I'm still in the monastery. Let's take a break.
My life
will continue every day.
My life continues every day.
Well, my life continues every day.
We move. My life continues every day with Amanda Elu.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Cha from Capital FM in Nairobi, Kenya, and you're listening to My Life Continues Every Day podcast with Amanda Elu.
Welcome back. I know someone is probably wondering, where's the vibe? What happened to the vibe queen? The vibe queen is still here. You know, when I worked on radio, I used to be the vibe queen during the day and angel on radio at night. So I think this second half of my season 6 would project the angel more. I'm not saying I'm an angel. I'm just saying, the whole demeanor of or disposition of just a calm person. I'm not calm, but why am I shalaying? Guys, I'm still here at the monastery. I explained why. So if you want to know why I'm in the monastery, you may want to refer back to the episode 6 of season 6. Why am I calling season 6? Season 3. Episode 6 of season 3. So this is episode 7 and I'm happy to be here. A couple of things. Oh, by the way, let me give you a testimony because my life continues every day. So I'm here at this monastery and then, there were a couple of things I had to run financially and I spent my money on, there's this particular biscuit. It's a chocolate biscuit. You all know how I love chocolates. Or you don't, but I do. And I spent my money on that chocolate. Yes, I know. In the monastery, you're supposed to be all, mortified, per se. Mortification and stuff. It's going on. It's just that whenever it's time for me to eat, I still... Guys, things are so cheap here. Like, it's a lot cheaper than the outside world. Making me wonder if really we are not the cause of our problems. I don't know, it's just been there because outside a sachet of pure water is sold for 50 naira or something, but here you get to buy as many. It's like this. It's just the way it used to be even before the things began to escalate here in Nigeria, and I do not know really. So I saw this particular chocolate biscuit that I enjoy eating and it was so affordable. I had to buy and then cut into my money. What happened finally, it seemed like I did not have enough money for my transport fare and I told myself I don't know how I'm going to live here, but God is going to help me out. And then a few minutes to doing this podcast, I got an alert from a work I had done in the past, and so I'm just grateful. Don't mind me, I'm just sharing this so it could be you tomorrow. I don't know what you're expecting. May God help you find it. All right, surprise, surprise, guys. I have a guest. And this guest is somebody he's here too at the monastery. I met, we got talking and I felt like he needed to share his story because, of course, we know why we share stories here. To remind you that you are not alone. Also to for the other person to also find peace. Sometimes people vent on this platform. I let people, that's what we do here. You kind of just let it all out. It's not venting per se. It's just, let it all out. It's your safe space. And I told him, you could do this. Why don't you talk about this thing on my podcast? And he accepted. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're about to hear the story of somebody who I respect I respect so much. And it's okay to say I admire too. I admire his strength and courage. Oh, it's a he, yes, guys. I know, because it feels like we have lesser guys on this podcast, and it's just amazing to have somebody who is a guy here. And, well, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Are you fine, really? Because it's really cold and we're all wrapped up here like we're in Canada or something. How are you enjoying the
That's
weather?
typical of a monastery.
Oh, really? You've been coming to monasteries before now?
Yeah. I usually come around I come to the monastery to solve the puzzle of life.
Oh, really? Look at that.
Yeah.
That sounds
To solve
interesting.
the puzzle of life, to get a cohesion of ideas, and then to fortify myself. Then I go out, because a monastery, as we all know, is an isolated area where you go back to have reflection, to think about life itself, the hurdles and the obstacles of life, and to know how to navigate life as well. So I come once in a while. After all, it's good to do that.
He sounds so deep, guys, right? I know. That's why I find him interesting. Don't worry, he's within our age range. No, what do I mean? Come on. I don't know who's listening to me, so whoever you are. He's a young man. He's a young man, but he has this deep demeanor. The way he's looking at me right now, like, oh my God. But I mean, he hasn't met Amanda Elu of My Life Continues Every Day, and it's good to have you on this show. Thank you so much for agreeing to share your story with us.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, everyone.
All right, so let's begin from the very beginning. How has your life continued every day? What has happened that is currently, making you question a lot of things, but you're still standing firm? Share your story with us.
A lot has happened. As you all know, being an adult in Nigeria is enough stress on its own.
I know.
Yeah, and having expectations, having dreams, and having plans to your greatest annoyance, and they are within reach, and also at the same time out of reach too, because of what is happening in the country we find ourselves in. So actually, the problem I had, or the problem I still have, is that of uncertainty. I term it that word, uncertainty. Where you live life and you are not even sure of what. You make plans. Yes, we have been advised to make plans. You make plans, and things, instead of going your way, tend to take the other way, or like we call it a detour. So this is one of the reasons why I usually come to the monastery, to straighten up things as well. So my life continues every day, in the sense that with all the uncertainties, we still find a way to forge ahead. Yeah, we still find a way to forge ahead. So I will give you a little bit of my own life story.
Life story. He said life story. Sounds like he's going to tell us the entire story of his life.
A little bit of it.
We would be honored to hear
A
it.
little bit of it. So mine started towards my graduation from the university.
Oh.
Towards my graduation from the university. Then it dawned on me, or probably that was when I started thinking about it. What do you do? You're about to graduate. How do you fend for yourself? Do you continue to depend on your parents? What do you have to do to make a stand and an impact for yourself? That was when it all started. So, graduation from the university, and the country we have in Nigeria.
The country we have in Nigeria.
Because it's
I don't know.
it's nothing to be proud of. When you
It's sad.
struggle 4, 5 years, 6 years in the university, and you come out, and we all have this ideology that education is the key, and as some of my friends we funnily or jokingly say then, education was the padlock, and when we came out, it was now changed, and we were with the wrong key. We couldn't access the future we were once promised, or that we envisioned. So that was where it all started. So after my graduation, I had to stay back to look for a job, and I did menial jobs. I even worked for as low as a wage for like 12,000.
A graduate.
A graduate,
Omo.
just to start up something. I did that for close to a year. And I went for my NYSC. It wasn't funny also. So the struggle was just there. And I kept hoping that one day it's going to get better. And we kept struggling. And our life kept going as well too. So after the NYSC, series of interviews, you do well in the examinations and all that, and on the day of the appointment, you'll be told that you were not selected. So devastating. So, but my life didn't end there. My life continued, as the host rightly said, because I loved that slogan when she introduced it to me.
Oh.
My life continues every day. So 2 years down the line, nothing to show. You graduate with nothing to show for it. You see yourself as a disappointment to even your family. And then it came like a boomerang. One of the days when I was a little bit of, will I say a little bit of, is there anything like that? Being frustrated. You are either frustrated or you are not frustrated. So when I was frustrated, actually, I happened to, there was no funds anymore to even go to the monastery. So I had to visit the chapel in my local church. I usually go there once in a time, there was a time it was an everyday thing, everyday activity. I walk from my house to that place. And I stayed there and spent much time just thinking about my life, thinking of what I have, thinking of what happened to my dream, where I would have been, and all that. And at the end of it all, I get the comfort and the solace by sitting there and saying, thank you. I said, thank you, God, that I'm still alive. So life continues as well. So on a very fateful day, I was there, and it happened that, I'll call it grace finally found me. I met the parish priest of the Catholic Church where I usually visited the Blessed Side. Mind you, I'm a Catholic and a Christian too, Christian and a Catholic. So I met the parish priest and we had a lengthy conversation. And the lengthy conversation threw me into a lot of thoughts. And it was as though we delved into my past life, and I found out there are a lot of things that I would have been able to do on my own instead of relying on somebody or the government to do for me. So the past skills I gathered even before I went for service and after my NYSC, with the help of the priest, that was during the conversation I had with him, I was able to find out that yes, I could start up a business of my own and become my own boss. You need to see the joy I was in that day when I realized that I had a skill. With the permission of the host, I would say I was given this idea of starting up a soap factory of my own. So it was a big idea, a big business deal, a big business plan. How do I go about it? What do I do about it? Who do I meet concerning this? And the priest gave me every reason to tell me it is a possibility. The Lord needs my commitment and my dedication. So, that very day I left the chapel and the church a different man. So on getting home, I slept on it. I started making my research online, on YouTube, making calls, making inquiries from people around.
At this time, you didn't have anything doing.
There was nothing at all.
So you're not doing any small job. You were not
No
doing
job.
anything at all. Like
No
you were just
job.
there.
I was just there.
So how are you managing to pay your rent?
I was not even paying my rent. I was squatting with my cousin, who at the time too was there. So I was squatting with my cousin. At some point, because of this, the degree I had to go and apply to work as a staff in a hotel. I was given to work as the barman. Yeah. Desperate times. So I was ready to take the job. A graduate.
As a barman?
Yeah, as a barman. I was ready to take it up.
Not because you really love
Not
doing it. Because
because
some
I
people
loved
love
it.
doing it and it's not a big deal, really.
Not
if you
because
like
I
it.
loved it. Just wanted to keep the mind busy and to have something to put on the table where you eat. To solve basic problems, not even frivolity, basic problems. So I was ready to take the job. Then the outbreak of Corona came.
Hey,
So it shattered that one too again. And it was like you were trying to take a step on the staircase and you slipped and fell
Went
back
back
again.
again.
So that was what it was like. But my life continued. The struggle continued. So back to where I got this business idea. And then when I finished putting up the whole resources and all that together, not resources per se, the whole ideas, what the requirements, it now dawned on me there was no capital.
Okay. There was no capital, guys. And do you know what it is like when you're in a business? You have plans. In fact, a lot of us have business ideas. The problem is capital. It just comes up and you're like, what am I going to do with my life? Guys, I beg to end it here because I wouldn't want to talk for so long or want us to talk for so long. So we're just going to end the first part of the story here. If you want to hear how this young man turned out and what is happening in his life and why he's probably here at the monastery today, you really need to tune in to the next episode because I also am interested in this story. So know this, that the next story coming up is from the same person. We're still in the same place. It's not going to be like a new, just know that's like a new episode coming up, and then that's where the new story will come up. So catch us on Spotify. I mean, if you're listening to this, you already have a particular place you can hear me from. So we're on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Jamit, Buzzsprout, Spotify for podcasters, as well as all of your favorite podcast platforms, or most of your favorite podcast platforms. I'm Amanda Elo, and it's amazing, really, because you see why I said he's an interesting person. Let me not talk too much. Let's end it here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Wait for the next episode, and God bless you, may and just protect you. Bye. Oh, don't forget to share this podcast. Share this podcast. Tell people about it, and wait for the next episode, which will be episode 8. Thank you.
I got you. I'm living a good life, no stress and no strife. Every day I keep moving up, Monday to Sunday, steady balling. If I'm can be one nature,